Hey, Cristian, back from the U.S. national team. What was the feels like after getting a start, getting a lot of competitive minutes?
Well, unexpected to be there and then to get the minutes that I got. You know, I felt like I've put out a good year in terms of performances here with the Sounders, and so it feels great to be rewarded for competing at a high level. And so, you know, credit to Pochettino for making me feel real comfortable in such a quick time. And I was excited to be back with the national team after a 2-year absence. You know, hopefully I can have a couple more camps. You know, and hopefully I made a good first impression with Pochettino.
Versatility has always been part of your great attributes, right? But it feels like this time around, maybe with the national team rather than before, where you were kind of like maybe a winger, more of a attacking player, you kind of seem more like a 6. Is that a fair assessment? Is that kind of what you got out of the coaches and the trainers there?
Yeah, my role is a little bit more defined, right? It's been defined for the last year and a half or so, and I feel like I've made some good strides being able to understand my role, understand where I'm going to play, whether it's here with the national team. It's just nice to know what type of actions you'll see throughout the game, and so really nice, I think, from my perspective, to not be bouncing around and can dive into, you know, the attributes of what a midfielder, number 6, number 8 looks like.
Have you
Cristian,
allowed
on that,
yourself?
just on the speaking of being comfortable and also your role, the second game you started, you get 83 touches, and you were in those pockets. Can you just talk about that and then the trust that the teammates had in giving you the ball as an outlet?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it was a similar build-up in the way we'd like to play here with the Sounders, in a 3-2 build-up, and so feeling comfortable with that. You know, I played quite simple, to be honest. You know, I played my role, kept the ball moving, and then brought a lot of energy and intensity into the game, something that we probably lacked a little bit in the South Korea game, and so. You know, my role then was to create the energy, make the guys around me better, give confidence to those around me, and you know, we fought, right, and that's what you ask for. When you have limited appearances with the national team, right? You at the bare minimum, you have to bring the intensity, and so that was my goal going into it. Make the guys around me better, and you know, we saw some guys free up a little bit more when I was on the field, and so hopefully, you know, I get a couple more looks, but you know, in the end, you know, I'm just happy to be back with the national team, at least for one camp.
Just a couple of questions about Georgie Minungo. What do you think he brings to the team?
Yeah, Georgie is a player that is quite spontaneous. You know, he can go right, he can go left, he can slow you down, he can speed up the attack. He's a great player to be able to have, knowing that his individual 1v1 drills, his skills allow him to create that you know, creativity that we sometimes lack. And so having a guy like Georgie, who right now is coming off the bench but can easily start on any other team, you know, allows us to have some flexibility when he comes onto the field.
How amazed or how surprised are you by him playing like this, even without an eye?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's tough to play at a high level in professional sports with 2 eyes, obviously, and for him to be able to come out here and compete at such a high level, you know, without his sight in one eye. I mean, it's a beautiful story. I think it's something that he's trying to deal with on a consistent basis. I mean, people don't talk about it enough, right? But he's a quality player. We see that obviously every day in training, and it's such a luxury to have him coming off the bench for us.
With the win and making a playoff push now, what have you kind of learned from 2022 and that high and going back in and not being able to make the playoffs that you can kind of course correct this time around to do so?
Yeah, that's a great observation. I had talked about that a little bit with my family. Winning a trophy middle of the season is kind of a weird thing to do. For us in Champions League, it was in May. This one's a little bit later, but I think the difference this year is being able to have so many guys contribute in so many different ways, keeping us competitive in trainings, keeping us competitive with on our toes with the lineups. I think all that allows us to stay afloat and on our toes. So Schmetz has done a great job of balancing out the group. We've had a lot of injuries and guys have contributed. So I think that the depth is what separates us from 2022, and hopefully we'll see that over the next 6-7 games.
Is it something that you guys have talked about though, trying to get to? I think there's only been very few that have been able to win 2 trophies in the same season that are domestic MLS teams.
I have not talked about it. I'm still catching my breath from the national team. But it would be such a beautiful thing, right? Like I've never done it, right? I've never been a part of a 2-trophy type of year. It's something that we strive for. It's something that's on our mind constantly. We want to be able to compete in MLS Cup, right? We want to be able to compete in the playoffs. We feel like we have the team to do so. But it is about, I keep saying this year, like it's about not saying it, it's about doing it, right? It's about the training sessions. It's about showing it on the field. We have to be committed, and we have to use that same energy that we had against Leagues Cup for the rest of the year.
Cristian, how are you feeling physically? Because there was a little bit of concern about the minutes that you had and fatigue, and then it seems like you had a small injury for the Leagues Cup final, and then instead of resting, you have to fly all the way and play for the U.S. men's national team. So how are you feeling physically?
Yeah, I told my wife that I will rest when I retire, and she goes, "I'll believe it when I see it."
Many years from now.
Yeah, hopefully many years from now. But I was dealing with a small injury going into Leagues Cup final. Thankfully it's kind of resolved. But I feel pretty good. I have been able to play in a bit of a more defensive role. I don't sprint as much as a lot of the guys do. I do cover a lot of ground, but I don't sprint as much, and sometimes the sprinting is the harder part. And so I'd feel good. I mean, I think I'm going to get rest at some point, over the next month or two. But what I love is the ability to continue to play games, stay in rhythm. There's a beauty in that as well. And so, I'm sure Schmetz is waiting for the right opportunity to arrest me, but I feel good. I feel ready. I feel pretty sharp, and hopefully I can bring some intensity this weekend.
When you come back from the national team, not just you, but other guys who were with age groups or, Georgie and Nuhu, how does that experience help propel the team forward once you're all back together?
Yeah, I think that's I feel like guys have come back from international duty sharper. The speed of play is a little faster, right? The physicality, guys are far more athletic. So getting back into the team, you're in rhythm, right? Like a lot of the guys had 5 days off. I was training, right? Like so it's a beautiful thing where if you can stay in rhythm, you feel good, you feel sharp on the ball. You bring the leadership skills that you saw in camp. The different coaching styles, right? Like you see all those things, and you absorb it as much as possible. You bring it back to Seattle, and you bring some of that different style into the club. And so I'm excited. Hopefully, I can add a little bit of what I saw, what the experiences that I had into the Sounders.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys. Thank you, guys.